Hello students, welcome to the statistics class. So in the previous class we discussed about correlation, Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient and some examples on Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient for ungrouped data. So in today's session we shall look at the problems for grouped data. Okay, so this is the formula for group data. So this is the formula for Carl Pearson's coefficient of group data. Okay. So that is capital N, which is the frequency total into double summation of x into y into fxy. Fxy means the frequency of x and y. Okay. Next, that is summation of x into fx, that is the frequency of the variable x. Summation of y into fy. Here fy means frequency of the variable y, divided by n into summation of x square into fx minus summation of x into fx whole square into n into summation of y square into fy minus summation of y fy whole square. Okay, so this is the formula for computing correlation for a group data. Now let us look at an example here. So one example is given. Calculate the correlation coefficient between the number of male children and female children from the following data. So we need to check whether there is any correlation between number of families having male children and female children. Okay, so this is the given table here. These are the variable values 0 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4. This is like your x value. This is the variable x male children and this is the variable y female children. Okay, so this is a called as a bivariate frequency table here. So we are using this complicated table. So let me explain this to you. Now here all the x values are written and all the y values are written here. The numbers written here in between 3 4 2 4 8 8 2 7 12 8 4 3 8 8 5 3 5 6. These are all called as fxy, the frequencies. Okay, written in the formula here. This one fxy f. So frequency belonging to x and y. So in the third chapter we dealt with the concept called bivariate frequency. So bivariate frequency means the frequency is written with respect to one variable as well as the other variable. So here for 0 and 0, here it is 3. That means number of male children and number of female children both are zeros. Such families are 3 where there are no female children and no male children. 0 and 1. So families having no male children but one female child are 4. So it means like that. Okay. So the frequency is common to x and y. Okay, it correlates to both x and y at the time. So here let us decipher this table slowly and simply. For example, here x value has been given and here y values are given. This side, this part contains all the information related to x and the frequency, and this below here, these rows contains the all the information pertaining to y, the variable y and the frequencies. Okay, so first thing is fx, that is the frequency of x. So 3 plus 4 plus 2, you have to add all the frequencies here, that is 9. Next you need to add all the frequencies given here. 4 plus 8 plus 8 plus 2, 22. Next 7 plus 12 plus 8 plus 4, 31. 3 plus 8 plus 8 plus 5, 24. And last one 3 plus 5 plus 6, 14. So this is the frequency of x. So when you add them, you will get n is equal to 100. Okay. Similarly, let just explain this column here, fy. So fy means frequency of the variable y. So if you have to add it vertically like this, so 3 plus 4, 7. 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 3, 22. 2 plus 8 plus 12 plus 8 plus 3, 33. So 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 5, 23. 4 plus 5 plus 6, 15. So total is 100. So if you take the total of fx and if you take the total of fy, both of them should be 100. Okay, should be is equal to 100. Next, actually they should have written here x into fx, but they have written u. So make the correction there in your textbooks. This is x square. This is x into y. Okay. So next, now x into fx. Okay. So 0 into 9 is 0. Next, 1 into 22 is 22. 2 into 31 is 62. Next, 3 into 24 is 72. And 4 into 14 is 56. And when you add them, the answer, the total will be 212. So x into fx is 212. Next, x square fx. So you have to square the x values and then you have to multiply here. So 0 square into 9 is 0. 1 square into 22 is 22. 2 square is 4. So 4 into 31, that is 124. Next, 3 square 9. 9 into 24, that is 216. And 4 square 16. 16 into 14 is 224. So this total here is 586. Now comes the last column, x into y into fxy. So now you have to multiply three things here. So now observe these brackets within the cell or the windows within the cell here. This is a cell and these are the windows within the cell. Some numbers are written there. These are the numbers, these are the products of the multiplication of the three numbers, u into v into, sorry, x into y into fxy. So x into y into fxy. So you have to multiply this into this into this. Okay. So 0 into 0 into 3 becomes 0. You have to write it here. 0 into 1 into 4. Again it is 0. So write it here. 0 into 2 into 2. It is 0. Right here. There is no frequencies in the cell. So leave them as blank. Don't write anything. Just put a hyphen or blank. Next. 1 into 0 into 4. 0. 1 into 1 into 8. 8. 1 into 2 into 8, 16. 1 into 3 into 2, 6. Okay, so this is how you have to multiply x into y into fxy. Next, now take its total here. 0 plus 8 plus 16 plus 6. So 22 and 30. Okay, so write the totals here. The numbers here written here are the totals in the window. Okay, in the window part, whatever the numbers are there, their totals will be written here. Okay. Next, 2 into 1 into 7, 14. 2 into 2, 4. 4 into 12, 48. Next, 2 into 3, 6. 6 into 8, 48. 2 into 4, 8. 8 into 4, 32. So 14 plus 48 plus 48 plus 32 results into 142. Next, 3 into 1, 3. 3 into 1 into 3, 9. 3 into 2, 6. 6 into 8, 48. 3 into 3, 9. 9 into 8, 72. Next, 4 into 4, 16. 16 into 5, 96. Sorry, sir. 3 into 4, 12. 12 into 5, 60. So 9 plus 48 plus 72 plus 60 results into 189. Last one. 4 into 2, 8. 8 into 3, 24. So 4 into 3, 12. 12 into 5, 60. 4 into 4, 16. 16 into 6, 96. That is 180. So if you total it here, the total result will be 541. Now let us come to the y part here. Okay, so you have taken the frequencies. Same calculation procedure you have to do it here vertically. Okay, so y into fy. Okay, so 0 into 0, 0. Next, sorry, 7 into 0 is 0. 22 into 1 is 22. 33 into 2 is 66. 23 into 3 is 69. 15 into 4 is 60. So 22 plus 66 plus 69 plus 60 is 217. Okay, next, y square into fy. So you have to square them, these terms, and then multiply. So 0 square into 7 is 0. 1 square into 22 is 22. 2 square into 33. 2 square is 4. 4 into 33 is 132. 3 square 9. 9 into 23 207. 4 square 16. 16 into 15 240. So 0 plus 22 plus 132 plus 207 plus 240, 601. Next, now here also similarly x into y into fxy. But since you already have created the brackets here, you don't need to compute anything further here. You just have to add the numbers in the windows here vertically. You have to add them vertically. Here you added them horizontally, and here you have to add them vertically. Okay. So 0 and 0 yields 0 here. Next, 0 plus 8 plus 14 plus 9. So 14 plus 9 is 23, 23 plus 8 is 31. Next, 16 plus 48 plus 48 plus 24. So this is 96, and so that is 136. Next, 6 plus 48 plus 72 plus 60. 186. 32 plus 60 plus 96, that is 188. The total here is 541. Now remember here the x into y into fxy, and here the x into y into fxy. These two columns should result in the same total. These two here, these two, and here these two may differ, but this and this should yield the same result. You should get the same totals, which verifies that you have solved the table correctly. Otherwise, if these two differ, then there is a mistake in your calculations. You have to correct them. Okay. Now this is just half of the problem. Now we come to the calculations part. So Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient is equal to n into summation of x into y into fxy minus summation of x into fx into summation of y into fy divided by n into summation of x square fx into minus summation of x fx whole square into n into summation of y square into fy minus summation of y fy whole square. So substitute all the values here. So here n value is 100. So 100 into summation of xy into fxy, the common total here, that is 541, minus summation of x into fx 212 into summation of y into fy 217 divided by root of n 100 into x square fx 586 minus 212 square into 100 into 601 minus 217 whole square. So this results into, numerator part goes like 554,100 minus 46,004 divided by 58,600 minus 44,944 into 60,100 minus 47,089. So that result into 8096 divided by 136,156 into 13011. So that is 8096 divided by 13,329.598, which results into 0.6074. Okay, so this is how you solve a Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient for an group data. Suppose instead of frequencies, instead of x values, if there are given class intervals, then you have to take the midpoints of those class intervals as x values and then solve according to the procedure. can also take the deviation values here. U is equal to some value and V is equal to some value. Okay, so you can do that as well. So this is how you solve Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. Now let us look at some properties of Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. So Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient is pure number independent of units of measurements of variables. So Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient is independent of scales and it is independent of units of measurement. So whatever units you have for your data, the Karl Pearson's coefficient is independent of those units. Next, second one. The coefficient of correlation is not affected by the changes in the origin and scale. That is, if you take U and V, so it is still not affected. It will yield you the same result if you take the original X and Y values or if you take the deviation values U and V. Okay. The coefficient of correlation cannot be numerically greater than 1. That is, it lies between -1 and 1. Or if you take the absolute value, that is, if you take the modulus here, it will be lesser than or equal to 1. So whatever the answers you are getting them either less than or equal to -1, greater than or equal to -1 or less than or equal to 1. So the Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient lies between -1 and 1, but it will never exceed 1 or it will never precede -1. Okay. Next, the correlation coefficient is not affected by the order. So if you reverse the variables, in the place of x if you write y and in the place of y if you write x and calculate, but still your answer will be same. It will not affect the order. Okay. Next, the correlation coefficient summarizes in one figure not only the this is the merit here, not only the degree of correlation but also direction, that is whether the correlation is positive or negative. So after properties we look at one merit here. So in improvement over scatter diagram is this is a mathematical method, and in one figure, in one single number, it gives you the degree of correlation and also the direction of the correlation, whether the degree is higher or lower, and direction means here whether the correlation is positive or negative. So if the correlation is positive, then the path of the straight line or curve will be upwards. If it is negative, then the direction of the line or the curve it will be downwards. This is what it means. Okay. Let us look at the demerits here or limitations of Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. So the correlation coefficient always assumes the linear relationship regardless the fact whether the assumption is correct or not. So we assume here that x and y, the relation between x and y is linear. That is, if you plot on the graph, you can draw a straight line or you will get the trend. The scatteredness of the points will be in the form of a straight line is what is assumed here, which is not true always. Okay. Next, second one, great care must be exercised in interpreting the value of this coefficient, as very often the coefficient is misinterpreted. So we have to check the other factors also while calculating the correlation here, since the correlation value can be misinterpreted. Next, the value of coefficient is unduly affected by extreme values. So since it's a quantitative formula here, if you have extreme values in the data, definitely the answer will be affected. And as compared to other methods, this method takes more time to compute the value of correlation coefficient. So this method is very tedious method and it consumes a lot of time to calculate and obtain the results manually. So this is about your Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. The next method that we are going to deal is Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. So another demerit that we discuss here is the Karl Pearson's method is based on the assumption that the population is distributed normally. This concept we are going to study in the next syllabus or the next year. But anyways, it assumes the normal distribution. Okay. And also, let's focus on this point here. Also, the Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient can be calculated only if the characteristics under the study are quantitative. This is the important point to focus here. So Carl Pearson's method is applicable if the data is quantitative, if the characteristics are quantitative. But if the characteristics are qualitative, you cannot apply, or it will be difficult to apply this method here. Okay, so it cannot be used in cases where the characteristics under study are qualitative in nature, that is honesty, efficiency, intelligence, etc. In such cases, Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient cannot be used. Okay, hence comes into the picture the Spearman's coefficient of rank correlation. Okay, so the important word to remember here is rank correlation coefficient. So what is that? Which I'll look in the further sessions. So in this method, we can avoid making any assumptions about the population under study by ranking the observations according to the size and calculations based on those ranks rather than the original observations. If it is possible to assign the ranks to the units in the two characteristics, the coefficient of the rank correlation is the product of the moment of coefficient of correlation between the ranks. The formula for computing the coefficient of rank correlation denoted by rho is given by rho is equal to 1 minus 6 into summation of d square divided by n cube minus n, where d is r1 minus r2 and d refers to the difference of ranks between the paired items. R1 and R2 are the ranks given to the two paired items in the series. Okay, and n stands for the number of pairs. Since rho is a product moment coefficient of correlation between the ranks, its value also lies between -1 and +1. The value of this coefficient is interpreted in the same way as Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient. So if rho is positive +1, there is a complete agreement in the orders of the ranks and all the ranks are in the same direction. If rho is -1, then there is a complete agreement in the order of the ranks and they are in the opposite direction. Spearman's rank correlation coefficient can be easily calculated than Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient. So let us look at this explanation with the help of an example. Okay, so let us look at an example here. In this example, we need to compute the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. So two variables are given here, randomly arranged variables. Okay, so here x and y. So first we have to rank the two variables either in ascending order or in a descending order. We can choose whatever the order we want. Okay, we can rank the lowest value in the variable as first rank and the highest value in the variable as the last rank, or vice versa. We can give the highest variable value as the first rank and lowest variable value as the last rank. Whatever the order you are following for x, the same order should also be followed for y. Suppose if you are ranking the x values in ascending order, then you also have to uh, rank the values of y in ascending order only. So if it is descending in x, then it should also be descending in y as well. So in this problem, the ranks are assigned in descending order in both x and y. So in x, the highest value is 56. So the rank is 1. The next highest value here is 55. The rank is 2. The next highest value is 54. The rank is 3. The next highest value is 51. The rank is 4. The next highest value is 46. The rank is 5. Next, for 44, the rank is 6. For 42, the rank is 7. For 38, the rank is 8. For 37, the rank is 9. And for 35, the rank is 10. Okay. So this is how the x value is ranked. Next, y values. So in the y values, the highest value here is again 55. So it is given the rank 1. The next highest value here is 52. So it is given the rank 2. The next highest value is 50. Hence it is given the rank 3. The next highest value is 46. Hence the rank is 4. The next highest value is 42. The rank is 5. The next highest value is 41. The rank is 6. The next highest value is 40. The rank is 7. The next one is 39. The rank is 8. The next one is 32. The rank is 9. And at last the value is 31. For it there is the rank 10. So once you have obtained the ranks, now our formula here is rho is equal to 1 minus 6 into sigma d square divided by n cube minus n. Okay, so n here refers to the pair of the observations. So x and y, they are considered as a pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So 10 pairs. Okay, so n here will be 10. And d's, now we have to first find the d is nothing but r1 minus r2. You have to subtract them in the same order, first r1 and next r2. So r1 minus r2, 10 minus 7, 3, 9 minus 9, 0, 8 minus 8, 0, 7 minus 5, 2, 6 minus 6, 0, 5 minus 10, minus 5, 4 minus 3, 1, 3 minus 2, 1, 2 minus 4 minus 2 and 1 minus 1 is 0. So this is your d values. Now you have to square them. 3 square 9, 0, 0, 0, 2 square 4, minus 5 square 25, minus 2 4. So you have to take the total of this d square. So summation of d square is equal to 44. Therefore you have obtained the d square column here. Now we write the formula rho is equal to 1 minus 6 into summation of d square divided by n cube minus n. That is 1 minus 6 into 44 divided by 10 cube minus 10, which is 1 minus 264 divided by 990, which is 1 minus 0.2667, which is nothing but 0.7333. So here again the value is a positive number and it is greater than 0.5. So we have to interpret the answer as the correlation between x and y is positive, higher degree positive. Okay, so this is how rank correlation can be computed. So okay, let us look at another example here. So calculate the coefficient of rank correlation. So this is the given data here, and let us look at the calculations. Now x and y are again ranked here in a descending order. So the highest is given the first rank and the lowest is given the last rank. So highest value here is 48. So the 48 number is given first rank. Next, the next highest value is 44. It is given the second rank. The next highest value is 37. It is given as third rank. The next highest value is 35. But wait, here 35 are two numbers here. So now comes the actual problem. So what if there are two values? How will you rank them? Now here in our data, according to the problem, we cannot give the same ranks to two numbers. Or if the number is repeated twice, we cannot allot the ranks here. So here comes the problem. So there is a slight change in the formula of Spearman's rank correlation. Let us look at what is the change here. Okay, so in some cases it may be found necessary to rank two or more individual or entries as equal. In such cases it is customary to give each individual an average rank. Thus, if two individuals are ranked equal at the fifth place, then they are given the rank 5 plus 6 by 2, that is 5.5 each. If three are ranked equal at the fifth place, then they are given the rank 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 3, that is 6. In other words, if two or more items are to be ranked equal, the ranks are assigned for the purpose of calculating coefficient of correlation is the average of the ranks which these individuals would have got. When equal ranks are assigned to some entries, an adjustment in the formula for calculating the rank correlation coefficient is made. The adjustment consists of 1 by 12 into m cube minus m to the value of summation of d square, where m stands for the number of items whose ranks are common. So if there is more than one such group of items, then this value may be added as many times as the number of such groups. The formula thus can be written as, there is a slight change here. Rho is equal to 1 minus 6 into summation of d square remains the same, plus uh, how many items are repeated, those each repetition should have this constant calculated, that is 1 by 12 into m1 cube minus m1 if there is only one item repeated. If there are two items repeated, then m2 as the second one will be written as m2 cube minus m2. If another item is repeated, m3 cube minus m3. So like this it goes on extending according to the number of repetitions available in the data. So coming back to the example here. So here 35 is repeated two times. Okay. Now we have given the ranks 1, 2 and 3. Suppose here or here instead of 35 say it was 34. Okay. Then we could have easily given, suppose say here it was 34. Then for this number we could have given the rank 4, and for this we could have ranked it as 5. But we can't do that because the two numbers have taken two spots. Hence we average the ranks that could have been possibly assigned here. So those ranks are 4th rank and 5th rank. Okay. So in X series the 35 is repeated two times, hence m1 is equal to 2. So in this series 35 has repeated, one item has repeated, so m1 that will be spotted as m1. So m1 is equal to 2. The ranks of 35, so for these two 35 we have to assign a common rank. So that is 4 plus 5, 4th rank plus 5th rank divided by 2, that is 4.5. Hence we assign 4.5 here and 4.5 here. Since the ranks 4th and 5th are gone, the next highest value will be given the next rank, that is apart from 4 and 5 the next rank is 6. So the next number will be given the 6th rank. So which is the next number here? 28. 28 is the next number, so it is given the rank 6. 26, it is the next highest value, it is given 7th rank, and 18 is given as 8th rank. Okay. Now in let us look at the y. So the highest value here is 83, it is given first rank. The next highest value is 51, it is given second rank. The next highest value is 47, it is given third rank. The next highest value is 46, it is given the fourth rank. The next highest value is 34, but wait, 34 has repeated 3 times. Okay, so we had one repetition here, the second repetition occurs here, so that will be m2, that is m2. M2 is equal to 3. Okay, it has repeated 3 times, hence m2 is equal to 3. Now if suppose if here it was 34, 33 and 32, if the numbers were like this, then the ranks would be 5, 6 and 7. We could have given the 5th rank, 6th rank and 7th rank, but since all the three are repeated here, so we average those ranks. So 5 plus 6 plus 7, so that is 34. 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 3, that is equal to 6. Hence we assign 6 in common to all the three spots here. Okay. So next is 8th rank. So we give that to the next lowest value, that is 28 is the lowest value here. Hence we give the 8th rank here. Okay. So this is how we assign ranks in case of repetition of the values in the given data. Now as usual we carry out our procedure. We find out the d. 8 minus 1 7, 6 minus 2 4, 4.5 minus 6 is minus 1.5, minus 4 minus 1.5 minus 1 minus 1 and minus 2. So if we square them, 49, 16, 2.25, 16, 2.25, 1, 1 and 4, which is 91.5. Okay. So this is the formula here. Now here there are only two items repeated, hence we go for m1 and m2. So the formula here is rho is equal to 1 minus 6 into summation of d square plus this is added here, 1 by 12 into m1 cube minus m1 plus 1 by 12 into m2 cube minus m2 divided by n cube minus n. So 91.5 plus 1 by 12 into 2 cube, 8 minus 2 plus 1 by 12 into 3 cube minus 3 divided by 8 cube minus 8. So that is 1 minus 6 divided by 91.5 plus 0.5 plus 2 divided by 504. So that is 1 minus 6 into 94 divided by 504. That is 1 minus 564 divided by 504. That is 1 minus 1.199. The answer is minus 0.199. It is a negative correlation here, and since the answer is greater than minus 0.5, so uh, the degree of correlation is lower degree negative correlation. So this is how you are solving the rank correlation, Spearman's rank correlation coefficient for both the data when the numbers are repeated and when the numbers are not repeated. Now let us look at some merits and demerits of this method. So now rank correlation coefficient method is simple to understand and easy to apply when compared to the Karl-Pearson's method. In both methods, we get the same answer for the given set of bivariate data when there are no repetitions of the values in the series. So if there are no repetitions, then you will get the Karl-Pearson's answer and the Spearman's result as identical. Okay. When the data are qualitative in nature, this is the only method to be used. For example, the workers of two factories can be ranked in order of the efficiency. Ranks given by two judges in the beauty contest, or the degree of correlation is established by applying this method only. So here efficiency of workers or ranks of the participants in a beauty contest. So all these are qualitative in nature. Okay, so they are given the ranks there rather than some quantitative figures. Okay, even when the actual data are given, rank method can be applied for ascertaining correlation. Even if ranks are not given, only the data is given, still you can go for the assignment of ranks and further you can apply this method. Let us look at the limitations of this method. So this method cannot be used for finding out correlation in case of grouped frequency distribution. So whatever the problems we saw, they all were ungrouped data. So if the data is grouped, then this method cannot be used. And the second one is when the number of items exceed 30, the calculations become quite tedious and time consuming. Therefore, this method should not be applied when the number of items exceed 30 unless we are given the ranks and not the actual values of the variable. So if you are doing this calculations manually, so you can somehow arrange the data till 30. So after 30 values it becomes tedious and hectic. So if you are not given the ranks, then you should not apply this method, because ranking and then applying this method becomes quite tedious. So these were two methods of calculating the correlation coefficient. That is the scatter diagram method, the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, and the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. So Karl Pearson's method is used when the data is qualitative in nature and when the variables are assumed to be in the linear relationship. And Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is applicable when the data is qualitative in nature and you don't need to assume that it comes from a normal distribution or there is any linear relationship between the given variables. So this was all about correlation coefficient and its different methods.